Poverty is pushing kids down the wrong path, with the current cost of living crisis making matters worse than ever. Children as young as 11 are joining gangs to make money. For some, it's to help put food on the table while their parents turn a blind eye. The voices of the young people we've spoken to have been changed to protect their safety.
If he's got no food on the table and is providing for himself and his family, I can't blame him for that.
I went to Manchester to meet this 17-year-old. At the age of just 14, he became the breadwinner for his family by selling Class A drugs.
It was you and your friends, and you were 14, and you sold weed. Then how did that progress and escalate?
The weed wasn't making that much money, so I had to sell other stuff, such as crack, cocaine, heroin, other stuff.
At what ages was that happening?
It was happening at like the age of 14 to 15.
It's shocking. So young, drug dealing, walking the streets with a knife. But he felt he had no choice.
I had to be the man of the house. Like, I don't have an older brother to protect me. I don't have a younger brother to protect me. I don't have no one. I've got 2 little siblings which I have to protect, no one else. My family is never at home. So I grew up quick, make money for them, provide for my family. That's how it works.
Would your parents ever ask you about the money that was coming in or the things you were able to buy for them and your siblings?
I used to tell them it was legit. I used to tell them I got a job.
What job did you tell them?
Just tell them I had a job round the corner shop, that's it.
With living costs surging, he says more young people than ever are taking the same path he did.
Living's gone up. To even live in this country is expensive. So what is there for them to do? Sell drugs, make money quick, without waiting.
But quick decisions have lasting consequences. A few weeks before filming, his friend was stabbed to death in front of him.
I want to talk to you about some murder case. Have you ever heard of a guy called...
No, I don't think so. When was he killed?
He says he's fine, but how could he be? The person who helped him change his life was Matthew Norford, a youth worker from Manchester.
And just give him some self-motivation skills.
I've come to meet him because he says the forgotten victims of this crisis are children already living in poverty.
They don't want to have no heating on. They don't want to go to school and be bullied because they've not got the latest clothes or just normal clothes. You know, they don't want to hear the mum crying, the little sister, when it's a birthday and there's no food and they're going to a food bank. I work with a lot of families now that are on food bank, and a lot of families where you talk to them, they're not getting a birthday cake, and they tell you because I know my mum's got no money and I hear my mum cry. That breaks my heart. No kid should be living like that or having to go to school just to get fed. Some of the reasons what made me sell drugs, because we were living in poverty. And who did I talk to? You tell me, who did I talk to?
I don't know.
There's no one to talk to. Someone like me, but how many? I can't reach hundreds of thousands of kids that it's happened to every year.
Those concerns not just being felt in Manchester, but the West Midlands too. Here, the Assistant Police and Crime Commissioner has written to the government, asking them to intervene.
Sometimes you have a household where a parent or parents are working 2 jobs just so that can keep up with the rent or food to put food on the table. And that can leave children and young people vulnerable to being exploited by adults who see that they're left alone and want to pull them into their way of life.
These children are desperate. Listen to this ex-gang member from Birmingham. He's barely out of school. This crisis is making basic necessities, like washing, too expensive to afford.
You were mentioning the kettle baths and a bit of those sorts of things.
Yeah, when the heating went out, having kettle baths, it would be like for 4 hours you're trying to fill up the bath with the kettle, and it's not all the way full up and stuff like that. By the time you get in the bath, the water is probably cold, and plus there was no heating, so then it wasn't really an ideal situation for anyone.
He has now found the help he needs to stay off the streets. Others he knows are not so lucky.
You mentioned a teenager who got stabbed in the back quite recently. What happened there?
They're literally trying to do the same thing that everyone is doing, trying to make a sale. The sale went left and he ended up with stab wounds, literally just for weed, when, like, it's not that important. Like, you could be making legal money or nice money in a professional environment and learning how to carry yourself professionally. You've almost lost your life over a bag of weed.
And then move them feet, and then move them feet, good boy.
This boxing club teaches more than just sport. Discipline, dedication, and the desire to change for the better. It's a place for young people to go, no matter how desperate they are. Sessions cost £1, but the fee is waived regularly.
I've been a firefighter for 27 and a half years. I've saved more lives in this boxing club than I've ever done carrying out of a burning building. This place genuinely is saving lives. It's saving their lives. Again. Listen, out there in the manor, it's, you know, it's a life and death situation. They have to make a split-second decision in some circumstances. So, and it's a junction where they go left or right.
Training here gives Abdul routine and purpose, but he knows people who have taken a different path.
It's easier said than done to lead it. Obviously, you can't just walk out of it. But I'd say, you know what I'm saying, try your best to slowly make your way out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you lead that way your whole life, you're going to end up in prison or, you know, dead on the street, like in Mossad or something.
Have you got a little brother or sister?
Yeah, I do.
Imagine you have to look after them and then you lost your job and anything and you come to like bills are coming in, you had no money for food. Real talk, what would you do? Are you going to look at your little sister starve, or if someone offered you, you know, you could go to Mama and get some bud and move it? What are you going to do?
Every person I've spoken to says gang life never ends well. We're on the way to Matthew's brother Gary's graveside. He was in a gang when he was stabbed to death trying to steal drugs. The kind of choices young people are making now, more than ever, for quick cash.
He's the guy that when I was young and I'm emotional and crying, he put his arm around me. He bought me trainers when I used to go basketball and my toe was showing here by my trainers. So he sold drugs for his family.
How worried are you that more people will end up dead based on the pressures that the last few months have put on them and their families?
Loads. Kids are getting groomed at an exceptional rate. They're getting exploited. And like I'm saying, some parents know what's going on and they either can't stop it, they don't know where to turn, and in some cases, they're allowing it because that kid's bringing in the income for that household.
One crisis is causing another, with children in poverty breaking the law to try and survive. They need a way out.